Welcome to SportsNetUSA.net and the SportsNetUSA.net Invitational. We're here in the top of the first inning with Santiago Canyon taking on the host team today, Cerritos College. Catch up on it right now. It's Santiago 7, Cerritos yet to come to bat in this first inning, and Santiago has batted around a couple times. Well, I should say at least once in this first inning. They've got 7 runs on 4 hits so far in this game and a few walks. The starting pitcher, Courtney Callison, didn't get out of the first inning before giving up 5 runs. And of course now we've got Samantha Islas in the circle. So runners at first and third, 2 outs, 7 runs in this first half of the first inning. And then we'll catch everything up with you when we get towards the second inning. I'll give you a little catch up on what you might have missed, as Santiago is swinging a hot stick, to say the least, out here on this overcast day at Nancy Kelly Field. Ed Ford, Albert Robles, Corey Neyland touring the facility right now. He'll probably be with us in about the third or fourth inning of this first game. We've got 3 today here on SportsNetUSA.net. A foot race to first, and that is going to do it here in the top of the first. But we've got 7 runs on 5 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. At the end of a half an inning, it's Santiago Canyon 7, Cerritos getting ready to come to bat. Let's look at that Santiago Canyon defense. Stella Turner will be on the mound. Andrea Martinez will be her batting mate. Lindsay Marshall over at first. Riley Piatoni over at second. Samantha Villanueva over at short. Alyssa Islas is going to be over at third. Priscilla Andre, I know I got her name wrong, so I'll correct that before this game is out. Jade Costa in center, and Lily Navarro over in right for Santiago Canyon. That's going to be the defense for Santiago Canyon. Coming up and trying to rectify the balance here for this Cerritos College team. Batting off will be Sotelo, will lead off. Nahara is batting second, and Leduc will be third, followed by Bedoya batting fourth. Those are the first 4 up for this Cerritos softball team. Sotelo is playing second today. Nahara is catching. Leduc is over at first, and Bedoya is the third base person. That will be the first 4 you'll see for the Cerritos softball team. So Sotelo, Alyssa Sotelo, coming up here. Looking to answer something. Everybody creeps up. She takes the first pitch for a ball. Islas over at third base. Plays about 5 feet in front of the bag for Santiago Canyon. Lindsay Marshall over at first, also in front of the bag. Marshall, a lefty, traditional first base person over there. Rock in motion, outside. Stella Turner takes that big stride in the circle. Three and 1 count. Sort of reminds you of the way of the old days when you watch softball pitchers in the circle. She would give that push off sometimes, and I've got a side view of her. You know, it's almost that little step and a slide up before she lets go. Comes back with another strike. 3 and 2 to Sotelo here in the bottom of the first. Santiago scores 7 big runs in their opportunity on offense. Little easy shot Hit right there to Villanueva and over to first for the first out. So Samantha Villanueva ranges into the hole, easily picks it up, scoops it, gets the first out. And that is going to bring up now batting Vicky Nahara for Cerritos. She's catching today. Takes the first one just off the corner of the plate. Cerritos, and they're all white with a little trim on the blue side, blue stockings, blue sleeves, blue lettering. Next pitch inside. Santiago Canyon, white slacks, blue blouses, white lettering. Pitch comes in just at knee level, called a strike. So Turner working it up and down. Seems to have pretty good speed coming from the circle when you watch her rock back and forth. Next one, easy little pop down the foul line. Should have been caught right there by Marshall. Lindsay thought she had it. She saw the fence and just veered just a second away. A little more foul room here, it feels like, on the third base side. Probably equal distance on both sides. 2-2 count. Right down the middle, strike three. So Turner burns the corner, and then takes it right down Main Street for a strikeout. It's going to bring up Brooklyn Bedoya. Brooklyn takes the first pitch for a strike. Bedoya sort of plays with the bat before she swings. Takes the next one outside. Little twirl of the bat. Season has just started softball-wise, so everybody's sort of settling in team-wise to see what they've got the first few days. That one's down, low. 2-1 count. 7-0. Here in the bottom of the first in favor of Santiago Canyon. Ripped right down the third baseline, and what a dig by Alyssa Islas. She dropped that glove and just snaked it off the ground. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. As we head to the top of the second, it's Santiago Canyon 7, Cerritos College 0. You're watching the Sportsnet Invitational Softball Tournament on Sportsnet USA.net. 3 games today, so it'll be Cerritos will stay out here, Santiago Canyon will be out here, and then Southwestern will be coming in a little later today. So we're playing almost like a round robin second day of this tournament. Yesterday it was Long Beach City College taking on Orange Coast College at Long Beach City College's new facility. I tell you what a beautiful ballpark that was yesterday. They put in a brand new facility, a quaint little ballpark, beautiful dugouts. The dressing rooms for the young women are fantastic. If you're the visiting team, you've got this great team room that you can walk out there. Albert Robles was the producer on that game yesterday. We had a good time. Albert had everything going on for us. It was a fun game. And Long Beach City College walks away with a 4-2 victory over Orange Coast College. I thought the player of the game yesterday in that Long Beach City College game was Daisy Torres. She was out there, just gave up 2 runs yesterday for Long Beach City College. And she had a time where Orange Coast came up with bases loaded in the 6th. Long Beach City College up 4-2. Daisy basically worked her way out of it, and I figured that was the turning point in that game. So we're going to start this second inning with Samantha Villanueva coming up for Santiago Canyon. Villanueva got on base in that first inning. A little off the foot, so that's going to be called a foul ball. Get that little stinger going off the toe every once in a while when you foul that ball off. It comes down, hits like the big toe, and realize they don't have, you know, in the old days you used to see where they would put in the cleats. They used to put a little steel on the end of your cleats in your shoes just for that purpose, that when you came down and you fouled that thing off, that big toe, it hit the metal inset of your shoe. Nowadays, because of they want lightweight shoes that are comfortable and give the young men and the young women an opportunity to feel like they've got more speed, they no longer put those restrictive safety devices in there. Next pitch is off the plate, takes the count to 1-2. Santiago Canyon has been a state champion already. Cody has taken her Cerritos team to the state championships before. Down the line, that's a fair ball, just a shot. And she turns and holds up, and she only gets a single on it. You could watch her limping down the first baseline with that foot. In now, the designated player had an RBI, her first time up. Fly ball to right field, runner tag, so she got a ribby for her last time up. Up by 7. Snap throw over to first, almost gets the out there. And I really do like the play of what LeDuc did at first base. Drops the knee, tries to block the runner. That's going to be not obstruction because she sort of goes down on both knees, just enough to distract, maybe just get the runner to go to the outside coming back. Next pitch is a little low. 2-1 is the count. Haley Ginn went to Segerstrom in Santa Ana. Throw over, stolen base for Villanueva. Even with that, boy, and it's an obvious limp with her running. Like we said, she fouled it off her foot. She still makes the play. Nice backup on that, though, defensively by Miranda Diaz to make sure the ball didn't go in the outfield. Diaz playing shortstop. We'll set the defenses in a second. Guillen squares. Takes that for a strike. 3-2 is the count. Three and two. Runner at second. No outs here in the top of the second. Little foul ball taken out of the air there. Nobody tags it. So we look at the outfield from left to right. It's Williams, Caps, Gonzalez. That's the outfield for Cerritos. Bedoya is over at third. Diaz at short. Sotelo at second. LeDuc at first. Vicky Najera is catching for Cerritos. And now Samantha Islas is in the circle. So that's the defense for Cerritos College here in the second. Lindsay Marshall now up at the plate. Lindsay walked her last time up in the first. Runner at second, 1 out. Lefty swings, fouls it off. Swings through that one, strike 3. Nice little pitch. So Andrade now comes up for Santiago. Priscilla Andrade out of San Pedro. Takes that low. So Nagasi Williams over and left, Alyssa Capps in center, Angie Gonzalez in right for Cerritos. That's the outfield. Andrade up the plate. Priscilla in the outfield, just a freshman this season over at Santiago. Take that one just off the plate. So Cerritos has settled down in the second inning. Rough first inning, but all of a sudden you can see it's, hey, that first game jitters out there when you're playing in a game. So the whole team has settled down. Nice, soft little liner taken there by Brooklyn Bedoya, and that's going to be for the last out. So, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 person left on base. At the end of an inning and a half is Santiago Canyon 7, Cerritos 0, here on Sportsnet USA.net. Softball season has started here, and of course, when you look at all the seasons and you talk about what happened last year, well, because of what we know, be it Omicron or be it COVID or whatever, the seasons were shorted. A lot of these young ladies had the opportunity to stay at the same community college. They were given a waiver for eligibility. And it's like anything else. I mean, you're used to playing a game, and then it gets taken away from you. So it goes back to that day one to get the excitement, to get the attitude, to get the new players that come in, the players that move on. And for a coaching staff, it becomes a very difficult season. Of course, last year, we saw Santiago Canyon play Fullerton College. Fullerton College won the OEC last year, and then Cypress College, because they didn't really have a championship, a state championship, or anything else. Cypress College, in a tournament they had at Fullerton College, ended up winning the OEC tournament. Sort of strange little arrangement that they had last year. Brooklyn Bedoya at the plate. Excuse me, swing, and it just drops foul. Bedoya playing third base for Cerritos. Went foul the other direction. Brooklyn would like to, when she leaves Cerritos here, transfer possibly to Cal State University Fullerton. Takes that one high. She went to Mayfair High School and was coached by a former Cerritos softball player, Erin Brown. She was a 4-year scholar athlete while she was over there. As a senior, she batted .364 for Mayfair. Little thing, nice diving play made right there by Samantha Villanueva, who goes down and likes to get dirty. And she did that on that play. Brings up Miranda Diaz. Diaz playing shortstop today for Cerritos. She went to California High School and was coached by Javier Macias. She appeared in 9 games and batted .445 when she was there. Launches that one. It's going to find the gap and go all the way to the wall. Macias says, "That's right, Mr. Pavlovich. I did do that in high school," and she gets a nice big double here in the bottom of the second. So that's going to bring up Maddie Guillen, who went to La Puente High School. Didn't have an opportunity to play high school. Well, she played high school softball, but not her senior year because of COVID. Guillen, that lefty, comes up there. Batted .235 as a junior. And as a sophomore, she was the most valuable player on her high school team. She had a batting average of .571, so you can see why Cody likes her here. She'd like to go to Cal State LA or maybe Cal State Fullerton and like to be an educator one day. Takes that pitch high. So runner on second, 1 out, trailing by 7 here in the bottom of the second. Turner brings that one in just a little low, sort of points at herself, blames herself on that pitch. Turner steps away, takes her time in the circle. Islas creeps up at third. Fouled in our direction. It's going to drop untouched. Seven to nothing. But now Cerritos has got everything going, starting to feel the rhythm of the game. Got a runner at second, just 1 out. Just takes a little while to get back in the game. Swing, runner's going to advance to third, throw over to first. In time. So runner in scoring position. And if you're feeling like Cerritos, all you have to do is nickel and dime it, get one back, just take your time, get that first run on the board, you're back in the game. Gonzalez up the plate, takes the first pitch for a strike. Slight build left-hander is Gonzalez. Takes 2 in a row. It's nice 2 low pitches. That one high and away. Angie played at Baldwin Park, Sierra Vista High School. Angie batted .300 in her senior year. She was first team Montview League selection in her junior year, and that year she was voted the most valuable player on her team. Shot over to third base. Little dribble there. Islas picks it up and guns it out. Right place at the right time. but no runs. 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. At the end of 2, it's Santiago Canyon 7, the Cerritos Falcons 0, here on Sportsnet USA.net. Welcome to the Sportsnet USA Softball Invitational. Last night, Long Beach beats Orange Coast College, and this is the first game of today's triple header here on Sportsnet USA.net. Ed Ford, Albert Robles on the table, making sure you can see the action today. Corey Neyland visiting him with a bunch of young broadcasters who'd like to take somebody's place in the industry one day. Me, I'm just the old guy that has the time of his life being out here. You know, there's nothing better than working in the industry for 30 years and then getting to come out here and watch these very talented student athletes in the game of softball. And that's exactly what you're getting to see today. Remember, these are student athletes out here. They go to school every day. They help mom and dad. They help little brother, little sister. Some of them go to church. Some of them volunteer for social activities. They're all here for an education, and that's who their coaches are. Their coaches are their educators. So let us not forget, coaches are not just coaches. Coaches are those educators that are going to help your daughters in the game of softball move on to the next level. I think that's forgotten too many times in the world of collegiate sports. Let's head to the top of the third. 1 pitch, 1 out. As Piatoni grounds out to short. Islas now comes up. Had an RBI and hit her first time in this game when she came to the plate. Alyssa Islas to Garden Grove High School. Another freshman for Lisa's team. Perennial champion, perennial strong team in the OEC. Like many of the coaches in the softball field, COVID hurt them all. It was a strange and bizarre season, like I've been told by the coaches. You're playing, you're not playing. But once again, many of these young women are lucky to have such talented women coaching their teams and guiding them through their futures. Pop up. Taken right there by Miranda Diaz. So Diaz says, well, you know what? I'll just handle the glove. It's easy to play with. Let me get the first 2 outs for our team. And the first 2 are up and down. That goes back up to Martinez, the top of the order. Who was 1 for 2 in this game already. As Santiago Canyon had a prolific top of the first, putting up 7 big runs. Excuse me, I didn't mean to swing, but the umpire doesn't matter. It's a strike anyway. Oh and 2. Seeing Eye Dog drops into left field for a base hit. So when things are going good, they're going good for you at the plate. And Martinez can sort of sit down and say, I've had a good day already. That brings up Jade Costa. Jade's playing center field for Santiago today. Jade looks at that one coming in low. Overcast day. You can see the mountains here from Nancy Kelly Field, so it's a really great setting for softball. Throw down to second, not in time, so another stolen base for Santiago Canyon. So we've seen a theme, and we used to see this from Lisa's team all the time. When you talked about Lisa's championship teams and you go through the years and talk about her great players, Not only could they hit, but Lisa loved her team to run. And that's what she's got going again. That's always been a tradition with this Santiago team. Drive to left field, it's gonna drop, runner's gonna turn, head for home as we get a double by Costa. So Costa gets a double and an RBI. It's 8-0. And again, we've already seen we brought up the fact that Lisa's teams have already run. We see what Lisa does when she gets people on the move. She puts her players in scoring position, and then she allows her hitters to always have that opportunity to drive in a run. 2 hits, 1 run here in this inning. I went in there for a strike. So the offense for Santiago showing up early. Push down the left field line. That's going to go foul about by 5 feet. So everybody's going to return to where they started. Williams, Caps, and Gonzalez in the outfield need to have their guns today. Santiago's running. Need to step up just a little. That one's just down low for a ball. Albert Robles coming over and making sure that I'm keeping my P's and Q's straight here on SportsNetUSA.net. Down and away in the dirt. Nice dig behind home plate by Vicky Nahara. Off the plate. So Navarro walks and gets on base. Bedoya at third, Diaz at short, Sotelo at second. Leduc at first for Cerritos. Nahara catching today. Diaz playing deep in the hole at short. My little catch right there, Alyssa Sotelo brings it in, but not before Santiago Canyon gets on the board once again. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. As we head to the bottom of the third, it's Santiago Canyon 8, Cerritos 0, here on Sportsnet, USA.net. It's a triple header day for this Sportsnet USA.net Invitational, so make sure you stick around with us all day long. Perfect day for softball. I sort of like this. Well, being the old guy, I like this because if I was out there, I could breathe, I could run. I turn around and look at me and all I see is youth behind me. So, you know, they don't care what the weather's like. They're out there playing softball all the time. That's after they do. And remember, I'm looking at student athletes behind me. These are young women that use the game of softball to move on, get their education, and become what they want to be. And that's the thing that gets forgotten too many times when we look at athletes out here. Southwestern is watching this first game. Of course, I talked about Lisa. She was hired in 2008 at Santiago Canyon. She was an assistant coach and an adjunct instructor before then at San Diego City College and was part of the coaching staff there. She's been Coach of the Year. She's been the OEC Coach of the Year on 3 different occasions. So let's head to the bottom of the third. And look for Cerritos to get on the board in this inning. Williams up. Drops a bunt. Looks like a pretty one to throw to first. Not in time. Sweet little bunt by the lefty. Just drops it softly on the ground and outbeats the throw from home plate. That's going to bring up Caps. Alyssa Caps out of Downey High School. Alyssa fakes a bunt. Alyssa squares again, takes that high, throw her to second, and so we're running galore. And really, when you look at Williams, excellent slide into second base. She slid towards the outfield, so when the throw comes in, she is sliding away from the tag. Even if it's going to be a close play, reaches back with her left hand and steals second. Runner in scoring position for Cerritos. Just a step away, no throw over to third base. This takes that one for a strike. Alyssa helped her San Gabriel Valley League team to a championship. Drives it in left field. Nice line drive out there, but Priscilla Andrea tracks it down. Sotelo comes back up. Grounded out to short her first time up. Alyssa went to El Rancho High School. Just nubs. It's going to take a quick little wicked bounce. And it's going to go down. Well, I'm glad Corey Neyland's not with me on that one, but we're going to score that as a hit. Now, I'm only doing that because Corey Neyland, if he finds out that I gave an error on that play, would look at me and say, you know, he'd look at me, Albert, and he'd say, you're such a mean man. Should have looked over to Albert and said, what is it, Albert? Vicky Nahara comes up. Nahara flies to the gap, right field, tagging, and the runner will score. So I was right when I said Cerritos was going to get back on the board, which they did here in the bottom of the third. So that brings up Rashira LeDuc. Duke takes that off the plate. So you can just watch Cerritos College feel softball slowly ingraining into the bloodstream of all these very talented young women on their team. It's like any other game. It's just, you can practice all you want, but it's still when you get out there and actually play, it's a different feel altogether. That one called a strike. Eight to 1 here in the bottom of the third. A little high and away. So when both these teams have run today, they've gotten scores in that inning. Down and away for a ball. Santiago Canyon runs, they score. Cerritos runs, they score. And when I say run, that's somebody stealing a base. Foul ball. Reflex is shown off over here at third base, coach. Little bouncer heading towards him, flips the knee, the ball just goes through the wicket. And there it is. Take off running, runner in scoring position. So, like Santiago, Cerritos, as that's ball 4, but the runner was going, it looked like they were going to move on. So Brooklyn Bedoya comes up. And again, Cerritos slowly working their way into this game. From first inning to now, it's a completely different softball team on the field for Cerritos. And like anything else, it can be that opening day jitter that gets to you on that first day. Bedoya lined out to shorter last time up. So this is where you look now and see anything. You look at the outfield, Santiago Canyon. Get around. You got Islas at third, Villanueva at short. Piatoni is playing second. Marshall is over at first. Martinez is the battery mate for Turner for the Santiago team. Fly ball, easy fly ball to Jade Costa, and Jade Costa pulls that in for the third out. So, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. We're through 3 full innings of play. It's Santiago Canyon 8, Cerritos College 1, here on Sportsnet USA.net. Don't forget, later on this season, we're going to have a little Cypress College softball on Sportsnet USA.net. That perennial championship team, 9 state championships for Brad Pickler. Brad's the only community college team in the state of California that's ever won the state championship as an undefeated team. They went the entire season, didn't lose 1 game, and they are the only one who has ever accomplished that in the history of the state championships here in community college softball. So we'll be doing some of Brad's games later in the year. We did Long Beach City College yesterday. We'll see if Megan has us back out one more time for that. Fullerton College could be right around the corner. Did that for Speedy last year, where Fullerton won the OEC, and their coaching staff was coaching staff of the year in the state of California. So things to come here on Sportsnet USA.net. Don't forget, later on after this tournament, we got a little Cypress College basketball. Corey Neyland calling the ladies at Cypress College, and you know what? They've heated up. They are now in the mix when you look at that OEC Conference in women's basketball. So that game, it's 5 o'clock tonight here on SportsNetUSA.net. Gian up at the plate. She got an RBI in the first and then popped out to the catcher in the second. She takes a strike on that. Fouled away. Nice level swing. Good turn by Guion up at the plate. Guion looks like bunt, sets for timing. Stays off on it, no swing. So a nice check by Guion to stay alive at the plate. Well, look at it. Bee came. Albert, look at this. I'm harvesting bees during this softball game. Next one's a ball. I really, this bee needs to understand I need to use this pad right now. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. B. Guion sets her timing by square. Fouls that one off also. We're talking about some of the accolades that Lisa has gotten. State championship appearances, 214, 2016. Super regionals, 213, 214, 215, 218, 217, 219. Oh, a beautiful little off-speed pitch. Got Guion on that front foot, and she swung right through it. Nice pitch. So Samantha Islas getting her rhythm down in the circle. Marshall comes up, takes the first one down and away. Marshall walked the first inning, struck out in the second. We're here in the top of the fourth right now. Down the right field line, that's going to drop for a base hit. Of course, when you talk about Santiago Canyon, their players don't just stop at this level. They all move on to the next level. Riley Selp is now over at my alma mater, Long Beach State, playing softball. Danielle Stallings is over at Cal State Stanislav. Amanda Pasillas is over at California Marymount University. And then, of course, Flores is over at the University of Redlands right now. Little infield pop-up, taken out of the air by Sotelo. What a nice NAIA schools that some of the Santiago players have gone to through the years. So many of these young women will try to make it to the next level, be it D1, D2, or the NAIA, which has some very talented young players at. Another steal. Throw was there, took a bad little hop at second base. So it was a nice throw. Miranda Diaz goes down to get it, but it skidded when it got to her glove, bounced away from her on the skid, And another stolen base for Santiago Canyon. It's the 4th stolen base. Fly ball to deep left field. Center fielder comes over, Alyssa Capps, and makes the catch on that one. So as we head to the bottom of the 4th, it's Santiago Canyon 8, Cerritos 1 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Oh, another one of those lovely educators that I talk about when it comes to softball is going to join me on the air. Technically sound. Talent, baby. Talent, Albert. You know, that's what I love about our talent here at Sportsnet USA.net. Yeah, you mean I got to plug something? I got to plug something in? Oh. You know, I love that. I love that my partner Corey Neyland will be calling a little Cypress College basketball tonight, 5 o'clock on Sportsnet USA.net is about to come on the air and join me. You know, the headsets fit on your head, and that little thing that's sitting in front of you called a microphone. You speak into it. So Cerritos trailing by 7. As Diaz comes here to the plate in the 4th inning. Diaz had a hitter last time up. So we're getting conversation. And I think Lisa, we'll see what happens. I'll have to check in a second, see if Lisa made a change. The umpire, I think, was caught off guard by that. That was just off the plate by Turner. So a nice take there by Diaz. That one down and away. Miranda likes to play Call of Duty with her 4 siblings when she has an opportunity. Deep fly ball to left field. Back is going to make it. Goodbye! So Diaz says, yeah, there's one way to get back on the scoreboard, and drives it deep to the alley in left field for a home run. Like we said, if you're a Cerritos fan and you started to think when this game started, oops, just takes a little of that getting back into the niche of playing the sport one more time. And you can just watch Cerritos get more and more comfortable when they come to the plate and more comfortable when they're on defensively. So 8-2 here in the bottom of the fourth. Brings up Guillen, the designated player for Cerritos. So the first home run we've gotten to see this year on sportsnetusa.net. Guillen pulls it through the hole. Back-to-back hits. Here comes Cerritos. So Angie Gonzalez now playing right field for Cerritos. Runner at first, no outs. A big home run for Cerritos to get him back in the game. That one off the plate. 2-0. Gonzalez drops on a bunt. Throw over to second in time on a real beautiful play by Alyssa Islas, who makes a great break on the ball. Gets a good jump on it, goes down there, doesn't hesitate on where she's taking the ball. If she hesitates, there is no out at second base. She turns, she throws, knowing she could get the lead runner, and that's exactly what she did. So one down, runner at first, one run in. Brings up Negasi Williams. Negasi Williams now comes up, playing left field for Cerritos. Takes that pitch for a strike as everybody creeps in defensively. Islas over at third. Marshall over at first. Breathing down the neck of the hitter. Forcing her to swing away, not letting her drop a bunt. Takes that one right on the outside corner of the plate. 3-2, one out. Runner at first. 8-2 here in the bottom of the fourth. Shot into left field, safe at second, and I tell you what, that's why they call it the hot corner, Mr. Neyland, as when all of a sudden you look at what's going on, you creep in at third like Alyssa did for Santiago Canyon, and boy, you get that one just smacked right back at you. And that's why it's called the hot corner at third base.
Yeah, and it was a nice shot. That's the second time Williams has been on base in as many innings, and almost a play at second to get the force out.
For the Falcons, number 33, Torres.
Right there, Michaela Torres is in for Cerritos. So Torres is going to pinch hit. So Michaela Torres comes up now. She bats. Down to third base, step over at third, throw to first, double play.
Great play by Islas. Again, Mark, what she does is that hot shot that came in with the last batter, she comes up and makes a double play on this batter, so you never know what's going to happen for that third baseman. A lot of action.
So 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. As we head for the top of the 5th, Santiago Canyon 8, Cerritos College 2, here on Sportsnet, USA.net. And of course, that voice that you just heard, well, that's my partner, Corey Neyland, here on Sportsnet, USA.net, who's going to be calling a little basketball later on tonight. And he'll be around for a couple games today here on Sportsnet, USA.net. He'll be calling play-by-play in the next game here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Well, Corey, if you saw, I know you were busy. I know you had a class that you were dealing with earlier this morning, but in this game started off with Santiago Canyon just being hot. Everything that was thrown at them, they were driving it for a base hit. They were running and stealing bases. And by the time the dust cleared, they had scored 7 runs in the first inning. Since then, it has become more of that back and forth softball game from the second inning on. And if you looked at it right now, well, it would be Cerritos up 2-1 against Santiago Canyon. And of course, I sort of look at that, Corey Neyland, and say, well, part of that is Santiago Canyon was ready to go. It took Cerritos maybe an inning or so to get that breath since this was the first game of the season.
Yeah, it takes everybody's first couple games of the season. You might need to take that breath. And Santiago Canyon, while walking over here, it looks like they have those athletes that they had in years past.
Fly ball, center field, taken there by Caps easily. So one pitch, 1 out.
Sorry about that, Mark.
That's
season.
okay.
And so with those athletes there, they can do a variety of things. And Cerritos, again, that home run last inning by Diaz, just another long line of quality shortstops for the Falcons.
So that brings up Martinez. Who is 2 for 4 in today, 2 for 3. This is her 4th time up in the day's game. That fouled off. And of course, when you think about these two teams, you got to think about the 2 great women that are the coaches for both these teams. Very talented individuals. Corey Neyland will give you a little depth on both of them in a second. Fouled away. Because, I mean, when you look at Lisa and Cody, creme de la creme of coaching.
Yeah, I mean, if nowadays you talk about lists and echelons and elites and all that stuff, and they belong in that upper echelon, those elite coaches.
Next pitch, swung in the dirt. That's an excuse me, old man swing, that sort of thing.
That's my knees hurt because they buckle so bad they knocked. That was a beautiful pitch. No, but they're in that upper echelon, the elites of the elites. Both have won championships. 2008, that was for Cody. And from a long lineage, we're here at Nancy Kelly Field on the campus of Cerritos, and they won the first.
Easy little fly ball to left field. Williams underneath it for the out. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. As we head to the bottom of the 5th, it's Santiago Canyon 8, Cerritos College 2 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Corey, let's get back to your conversation about both coaches.
Yeah, Nancy Kelly Field. Nancy Kelly, longtime legendary coach here at Cerritos. I mean, they won the first championship in 1978 for the CCCAA. And then Cody takes over, and all she does is win a championship in 2008. And we talked to one of her players during 2020 on the show, one of the shortstops for Cerritos, Janelle Aguadano, who's now coaching at Cuesta. We talked to her, and Cody Murray is one of those coaches that you want to play for. Her players that played for her loved her. She demands that you come out and respect yourself, you respect the game, and you play hard, and good things happen. And that's why she has over 550 wins in her 20-year career. 246 losses, multiple Coach of the Year 3 times in the South Coast Conference, 6 conference championships. And she's one of those coaches out there that if you were to look at a softball coach, softball player, what should they look like? What should they act like? You say, oh, her. Okay.
Yeah, Cody's that way.
Cody is that way. Cody is softball.
Yeah. And she also did play pro softball, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Got Tampa Bay Fire Sticks. Also played and coached in Italy.
So Sotelo drives it into the outfield and gets a base hit as Cerritos keeps swinging a hot bat here in the bottom of the 5th. Back-to-back hits by Sotelo in this game. That brings up Nahara. Vicky Nahara comes up here. She struck out, and then she got the first RBI for the Cerritos team today, Corey, when she flew out to right field. Vicky hits it. Easy little come up on that is Jade Costa. Jade Costa pulls it in for the out.
And speaking of Cody also, she played for the Orange Majestics, and you know the Majestics from softball lore. She played second base, and she looks like a softball second base. I mean, when you talk to her, it's just like you want to sit there for hours. And her dad, you just sit there, and it's like, okay, I'd like to leave, but I can't because I'm just learning too much. And one of the things she always tells you, one of her proudest achievements is her players receiving scholarships and academic success. And that's what that's what we hear more and more at the community college level is the most important thing, that academic success and that success off of the softball field.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what makes her prouder. Look at her this morning. She was here at 6:30 helping getting things ready for this team and this tournament today.
And I didn't know, and when we were doing research, I didn't know that I used to watch her play softball when she was a player at Cal Poly. I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? You just realized it today?
I didn't know that until I was doing research the other day, that she played on that Cal Poly team with Susie Vrasny, who we interviewed also on the show on SportsNetUSA.net, who you can go back to and watch those episodes. Go to YouTube, go to Sportsnet USA, and watch the show. And Rhonda Wheatley. So she was part of those teams.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I'll take those 3 to start my softball team.
Yeah, and I did not know that when I was a kid, when I used to go watch with my grandfather and my grandmother.
That you were watching?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I was like, that's cool. So yeah, Cody Murray, yeah, she's elite.
So LeDuc is up. He strikes out on 3 straight pitches. The second out. And that's going to bring up Brooklyn Bedoya. Brooklyn lined out to short her first time up and then flew to center field her second time up. Takes that one with the knees for a strike.
And I didn't get a chance to watch the first few innings, but pitching in the circle for Santiago Canyon, Mark, it looks, and this is only the first few innings we watched of the new season, but it looks like it's back.
Yeah, Stella Turner has had a good game. I mean, really, when you think about it, she's only thrown a couple pitches that weren't good, the home run, but, you know, even the greats give up home runs, so that's going to happen to you. She's got a solid defense behind her. They have made some great plays. I love watching the play at short and third for the Santiago team. You watch Villanueva over at short. She likes to get down and dirty, which is fun for a softball player. And then the hands at third base, soft and quick. And anybody will know, be it a man or a woman or a boy or a girl that plays softball, when you're over at that third base bag, boy, you better have a nice set of hands over there or you're going to have trouble all day long. Pitch down, throw over to second, not in time. And Corey, this is the thing that I've watched today. Santiago Canyon love to run, and when Cerritos runs, they score.
Williams scored on their first run on a sacrifice fly after stealing second and advancing to third.
Yeah, exactly. One of the arts that you don't see that much in softball anymore, stealing bases. Taken for a walk, so Bedoya is now over at first base. Brings up Diaz, who powdered the ball. I mean, you saw flames coming off the side as it went into the gap. You know, you see the rocket red glare going over the mountains out there with the snow. I could have started singing.
Please don't.
I'm sure everybody at Southwestern would love me to break into tune anytime. You know, a little Broadway tune, a little sports song. See, did you hear? They're all ready. Bated breath. Look at them all looking. Bated breath. They're waiting for me to, you know. They don't know I sound like Frank Sinatra when I sing.
Dead?
Dead. Thank you. Dead. Thank you. Wow. Wow.
My bad.
I'm going to sit with them while you're calling their game and keep mentioning your name. Thank you. Whoa. No more donuts for you.
It's the sugar, man.
Wow. Wow. First day of class. I didn't just get run over. I got crushed by a tractor. I don't know. That might go down to the Hall of Fame on Sportsnet USA. Got that. You know that, don't you?
I think it might.
Stella Turner just had to look over here at that comment. Turner brings it home for a nifty little strike.
But you mentioned, Mark, the Cerritos had a first rough couple of innings. And now that they got in their group, and they're one of the teams that they've led the state in walks for like 5 consecutive years, I think it was. And if they get on base like they are now.
Diaz watches that one. And here's the thing, down 8-2, if you can get another run, get 2, you know, you got 2 more innings, you're back in the ball game. And that's the thing that you like about Cerritos. The stick-to-itiveness that they have it in this game.
But that's what you say. You say this all the time about softball. Just give me one run.
Give me one run. That's it. Boom! And there it is. He's going to send her. He does. Here comes the throw to the plate. Oh, they stop her at the last second. Nice call over at third base, Corey. That was another rocket hit by Diaz.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, that's sometimes where you get hurt when a player hits it too well, that your runner's not going to score.
Yeah, because it was sharply hit, and Andrade played it well. She circled around in left field and came up throwing. If she had have gone by, that's Sotelo at third. If she had have gone, Adriana Martinez was waiting for her at home plate. But like you said, give me one run. Like you were down 8-0. And if you ever listen to Mark do a softball game, if a team is down 8-0, he's the only person in the stadium. He said, game ain't over yet.
That's right. Give me one.
Yeah,
Give me one
yeah,
here.
Yeah, because get me to the next inning. And you got chances, bases loaded here with 2 outs.
In comes a designated player. She had a hit her last time up. grounded out to second. So all she needs to do is get that sweet little single, take the 1 run, don't try to overhit it. Take that deep breath like she did just there. Just take that deep breath so you can just relax yourself. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th, down and away, 2-2. And if you have to, Corey Neyland, play it station to station if you're Cerritos and slowly work your way back into this softball game. 3-2. 3-2, 2 outs. Bases are juiced. Runners will be going. Single to the outfield, could score 2. The pitch, ball 4. A walk is as good as a hit any day of the week.
Especially when it gets you an RBI, 8-3. Cerritos making their way back in.
Lisa going to the circle now. And here's the thing that you love about Cerritos right now, Corey. You're down 7-0 in the first inning. Oh, well. Run rule time. I guess our first game's going to be a quickie. They didn't have that attitude. You've played and been around this sport too long. The thing, I don't like the run rule. I know you and Ed sort of differ with me on that, but I think any team can wake up at any time and come back from almost anything in the game of softball.
Yeah, see, you have positivity during the game. My positivity is they'll wake up tomorrow and play another. I like the run rule.
And yet you can see it here now that with a base hit, and let's stay on the positive, if they get that base hit, it's an 8-5 game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 8-5 game is nothing. When you got 3 runs, and especially the way they play, not station to station. Isn't that a Davey Bowie song?
Yeah.
Station to station, I mean, you get a chance to play and prolong. You prolong your at-bats. You prolong your time. You prolong the other team in the field. They're more prone to make that mistake.
Yeah, exactly. Gonzalez had to hit her last time up. She dropped a sweet little bunt. That one off the plate. And when the plate starts moving, like maybe with Turner right now, the plate's starting to move just a little, you know, it gives that hitter an advantage. Fouled away. Big swing by Gonzalez. 2 big hits in this inning.
And also, do you think it gives that pitcher a little bit of uncertainty?
Yeah, you can't paint the corner maybe because you're not getting that call. Foul off, striking right there. Just a nice play by Martinez who does it. But Cerritos gets back on the board again. Couple runs and 2 hits, no errors, and 3 left on base. As we head to the top of the 6th, it's now Santiago 8, Cerritos 3 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. And as we look at that Santiago team, Corey, we talked about Cody, but you've got another quality coach. And, of course, we've known Lisa for years that's coaching that Santiago team.
Yeah, 3-time Coach of the Year in the Orange Empire Conference champion. Orange Empire Conference. 2016 state champs. And you know what's good about that 2016 team? We kind of felt like we were part of that team because that was one of the first times we were out at Santiago Canyon calling games. And that was one of the most fun teams that we've ever seen in softball because
drop a bunt, be on second base.
Yeah, I'm not going to say they brought it back, but they were a team that liked to run. They got out and run all the time. In 2016, that was Jessica Daniel, whose 66 runs put her in the record books in the top 20 in the state. And that's what Coach Lisa does. She empowers her players to go out and make plays. And when she does that, it's like, yeah, you can make the play. If you don't make a play, but you went out there and tried, that's fine. You get it next time. So she's the type of coach that's not afraid to try different things out on the field. 2016. Also, her coaching staff was the National Coaching Staff of the Year.
Navarro will start off the 6th inning here.
And so when she brought this team from the inception of Santiago Canyon. So it's one of those things that this is her program. And she can actually say this is her program. I'm the one who started this. I'm the one who brought this to fruition. And they got that championship, 2 state appearances, 1 in 14, the winning in 2016. And now when you look at her team, it's one of the most respected teams in the state of California. And we always talk, when it's the most respected team in the state of California, that means it's one of the most respected teams nationally.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Navarro. Tough play over at short. The flip not in time. Boy, I tell you what, I know he's here, but that's going to have to go down as an error for me.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. I'm serious.
So
I know.
So if you take 3 steps over on a
and I go to backhand
ball,
it. If I go to backhand it and I field it cleanly, now you've got to look at the speed of the runner that you're going against. You can, no, I disagree with it. I disagree with it. See, this is what I told you, Albert. Corey'd give everybody a hit when they play a game.
Not everybody, but when a shortstop makes an outstanding play just to keep the ball in the infield.
Well, you saw what John Van Gaston called it.
A hit.
A hit. The SID here at Cerritos College.
Thank you, John.
I'm going to have to walk over to John and explain softball to him.
If it had been, Mark, if it had been like this, 1 turn and then go down, backhand instead of making that extra step and getting in front of the ball, then yeah.
Fly into the gap. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Lisa's going to wave her home. Let's see if she's going to stop her at third. She does. Long single for Villanueva. And that brings up Guillen, who's got a ribby in this game. Popped out to second. Struck out the last time up.
And as we see Navarro rounding second to third, okay, maybe she would have been thrown out if it had been fielded cleanly, but it's still a hit.
Pitch down by the knees, taken for a ball. Again, even Corey, that's the thing that when you watch Lisa. Lisa's got everybody running all the time. I would be surprised if the runner first doesn't take off on this next pitch. And she does. I think I've been watching this team for a while.
A little bit.
That's the 6th stolen base in this game by Santiago Canyon. And that's why I thought about the old days. When you talked about the old days of Santiago, boy, they were running teams in the old days when we used to go out and call their games. Guillen takes that at the knees for a strike.
Yeah, Jessica Daniels, she's 11th in the CCCAA all-time with stolen bases, 46 in 2016. And it's funny, when you look at the previous rosters, you got a whole bunch of players with like 30 stolen bases.
Check swing called strike 3. So runners at second and third, stolen bases. So we get a
Looks like
new batter, Alexandra Molina, coming to the plate.
out of Segerstrom High School. One of the newer schools in Orange County.
Lena takes that for a strike.
When I drive down there, I always like their little football stadium. It's not a huge thing because you might miss it, but it's a nice little quaint football stadium. It'd be nice if community colleges can build something like that. As we stare across the way at Cerritos College Falcons Stadium.
We have walked those stairs once or twice, haven't we? Pop fly down the right field line. It's going to be out of play.
You know what they called it? You know what the nickname is, right? The stadium?
Corey and I having a heart attack?
No, they call it the workout.
Oh.
Well, maybe that's just what I call it.
Well,
or the defeater.
We can realize that John Van Gaston used to tell us that he'd go over there and run up and down, up and down, up and down. And then we'd stare at each other. Because we lost our breath when he'd tell us that. Lena, fly ball out to left field, taken there by Caps. Caps throw to home, just not in time. Runner scores.
And Mark, what a throw by Caps. It was on target, and at the last minute, Rocher Leduc came and tried to catch the ball, tipped it, changed its trajectory, and I think they would have had Navarro dead at home.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that anybody cut it off on that. I thought you'd just let it go. Runner advances to third on that throw, but a run is in. 9-3. So 9-3. Line drive, that's going to score another one. And we get double digits, 10 runs, 12 hits for Santiago Canyon. So Piatoni, Riley Piatoni, comes to the plate.
And if Riley plays anything like the other Riley that played at Santiago Canyon a couple years ago, that's going to be an all-conference performer. Riley Saipu went over to Long Beach State after her career at the Hawks.
Piatoni drives it deep to the alley. It's just off the wall. One run in on a stand-up double by Riley Piatoni.
Piatoni said, yes, I am channeling Riley Sipe, who did play here in 2019 and was almost a player of the year in the OEC conference. And Mark, three more inches and that's a home run. 4 more inches and that takes out the camera.
5 more inches and Albert's running out there to set it back up. Or strolling out.
Yeah, because, you know.
Alyssa Islas at the plate. She had a hit in the first, got a ribby, popped out to short, and then flew out to center field. So she's 1 for 3 today. $11 runs, 13 hits, no errors for Santiago Canyon. Off-speed pitch. And here comes that discussion that Corey Neyland and I just had about the run rule. So you're up by 8 in the 6th inning. If Cerritos does not score, if my memory is correct, then a run rule should be enforced if they're playing with a run rule today. They can waive that in a tournament like this. But again, I often say, hey, look, you know what? Another team gets hot. Game's over. Yeah, but you can let them get back. And stranger things have happened watching softball.
Oh, yeah, we've seen games where teams are just done, and then they get their last ups, and we go to extra innings.
Oops, just went foul. Was hoping that Ed Ford didn't look up and go, what's that sound? And all of us are sitting here going, no. Who's driving to the IE to take this equipment back to Ed's house?
Well, actually, Ed Ford and I already had that discussion while he was not hoping for a sharply hit foul ball. I got it.
Oh, you taking everything back to the IE?
No, it never makes it to the IE.
Oh, okay. What, it's going to your house?
No, it's going to your house in my name.
I was going to say.
That's if Albert does.
I was just going to say, I saw somebody that just has enough room in his car to pack all, especially the tripods. Circle, home. Call for a strike. Islas walks over at first. Martinez struck out her last time up. Started first inning off, getting a couple at-bats in that first inning. Drives it, taken easily into the bag by LeDuc, but not before Santiago Canyon gets back on the board again. They score a couple runs on 3 hits, leave a few people left on base, and as we head to the bottom of the 6th, it's Santiago Canyon 11, Cerritos 3 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Corey Neyland, Albert Robles, Ed Ford calling the action on that.
I'm technically challenged over here. I'm just watching Albert run the controls. I'm like, what camera is that?
Corey's going. This is Corey with technology. It's almost like him climbing on an airplane. He's flustered, confused, and afraid. So it's,
Yes. That's pretty apt, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Just reassuring all those 145 students. Corey Neyland will be calling the action in the next game here on Sportsnet USA.net. Feeling comfortable about that because he knows Albert Robles will be at the control. You're feeling good about doing that game tonight at Cypress College, right?
Honestly, I was about to leave everybody and just go set up at Cypress now.
Let's see. On is where?
And it's still not my work.
Oh, look at Albert. Albert says, you know what? It's time for donuts and coffee. I'm just going to sit back and relax now. Ooh, look at that. There you go. So Williams. Nagasi Williams coming to the plate for Cerritos College.
And we appreciate the outing here tonight because there's no spectators in the crowd and in the stands today. But it does still feel like there's...
What a nice little play. Corey, this is what I talked about, this young woman at third base for Santiago. You watch Alyssa Islas with the soft hands at third base. She comes in, breaks on the bunt. The bunt is slapped. It's actually a slap shot, and she cradles it like carrying home a dozen eggs to mom. And that gets the easy out.
Soft hands, but
hands.
But it feels like there's a lot of people here and a lot of energy here at Nancy Kelly Field for this softball game.
Yeah, well, I think it helped having 3 teams here because you have another team. You feel the presence of the other team. They're sort of talking behind you. They're ready for their game.
Right.
They've moved to the visitor side of the field. And I think this is a really, I really like this ballpark too. I think it's a great field for softball. And Cody and I were talking. Cody sort of said what Ed Ford said yesterday when we were talking about the Long Beach Stadium, that yes, more fields should be built with lights. So if you could play at nighttime. Drive into left, lay out in center field, and that's Jade Costa. And Corey, here's the other side. What do you hear about softball? You better have excellent pitching in the circle, outstanding defense, and timely hitting. What do you see from Santiago today? All 3 of those.
Yeah, and the thing is, you see all 3 of those, but you see the timely hitting for Cerritos, but it was just at somebody. I mean, it was just good offense, better defense.
Yeah. And on Cerritos' side again, I feel like it's just slipping on that new pair of shoes.
Oh, yeah.
You wear shoes all the time, but every time you put that new pair on, you walk funny because they're new shoes. Then they get comfortable and your old stride comes back. That's what the Cerritos team has got going for them.
I agree.
Off the end of the stick. And I'm going to use an old baseball adage. In any game you play with a bat and a ball, you need to hit the ball where they ain't. Because if you hit it where they is, doesn't matter how good you hit it.
Well, that's the thing.
They's there.
And that's what made Jade Costa's play so much special, because she wasn't there. And then she was. So yeah, that was just an outstanding play in center.
And that's the thing. A little cool today, but the ball's flying well. So as a spectator here on sportsnetusa.net, the offense is alive for both of these teams. Drive, is it going to find the gap? It does. And this one, Corey, drops. And if you are a Cerritos fan, that's where you say, hey, 3 hard shots in this inning. 1 at the third base person, not a hit. 1 in center field, not a hit. You just every once in a while need to get that break when you're hitting the softball.
2-out rally?
I like 2-out rallies. I always believe there's a chance to come back. Pitch for a strike. And Stella Turner, I'd love to find out if Stella thought she had a good game today or not, because I think she's pitched an excellent game, but she's been hit. So it's one of those games where you'll take the win. Fouled away. And I feel like Turner looks like she's somebody that can get actually more pop on the ball than she's getting right now. She has a nice little stride. Almost has a crow's hop. Almost, if you watch her, because we get to see her from the side. You watch her, she stretches, she slides it off, driven into the galley again. That's going to get in 1. Turn the corner, 2-out rally, heading for third. The throw, we're right on top of it. She's safe. Oh, yeah.
So you said he hit?
Yep.
And
Yep.
Sotelo, or excuse me, that's not, is it Nahara?
Nahara. Vicky Nahara, the catcher.
Says, okay, I got a hit. 3 times. But again, 11-4. Creeping back.
Creeping back. And again, I'm going to go back to say, because you brought it up too, they're hitting the ball. Sometimes they're just hitting them at somebody. And that little pop out right there. But they do. So it's 11-4, but they did enough.
Yeah.
Thought I'd let him just sprout his wings there to, you start thinking about run rule, and then they come back and they do that. The grit, the gutsiness, the willingness just to say, we're not going to roll over and play dead. If you're a Cerritos fan, you've got to be excited about this softball team and what they do. As we head to the 7th inning, it's 11-4, Santiago Canyon over Cerritos. Corey Neyland, Ed Ford, Albert Robles, the spirit of Frank Sinatra, even though he's been blown away, here on sports@usa.net.
I don't think I'm getting any more birthday calls.
Courtney Callison in the circle.
And she started the day in the circle.
She did. Then she left because she gave up 5 earned runs in the first inning, but she's back.
And that's another thing I like about softball, that you get to re-enter the game. We've had more discussions with people who said that's not right, that's why it's not. No, that's one of the joys I get out of it, because it's like if you have a bad, couple innings or 1 inning, you get a chance to go back and redeem yourself.
Yeah, you're not banned for life. Okay, that's it. You're gone, and then you get to watch from the sidelines.
And plus, it keeps you involved in the game. As there, she just throws a strike on the first pitch there, but it keeps you involved in the game, because anytime you can go back in there and make a difference.
Yeah. Jade Costa up for Santiago Canyon, had a big RBI double back in the 3rd inning. Brooklyn Bedoya at 3rd, Miranda Diaz at short, Alyssa Sotelo over at 2nd, Rashar Leduc over at 1st, and then Vicky Nahara catching for Cerritos. Fouled away. Nikese Williams in left, Alyssa Capps in center, and Angie Gonzalez still in right for the Cerritos Falcons. Just a little off the plate for a ball. 3-2 the count. 11-4 is the score. 11 runs, 13 hits for Santiago. 4 runs, 9 hits for Cerritos. Drive at the plate, at 3rd. Nice play over there by Brooklyn Bedoya. Straddles the bag, catches the ball, and then makes a strike over to first base. 1, 2, 3. That's as simple as it is to infield baseball and or softball. It's a 1, 2, 3 process. Catch it, look, throw. Some people would say look, catch, throw. Look the ball into your glove.
Yep.
Catch it and throw.
I like that one.
You like look, catch, throw?
Yeah. It's like listen, prep, do. Or prep, listen, do.
You know, I think for a lot of people it's easier to play infield.
Or listeners and watchers are thinking, what are they talking about?
I tell you, well, everybody thinks they can play this game. Nice snag over at first base. Tell you what, LeDuc just said, let me reach down, I'll grab it. Just stroll over to first base on an afternoon. Get the out. Solid defense by Cerritos.
It was foul.
Oh, it was foul?
Yeah.
I didn't call it foul.
And Navarro, her last time at bat, she reached first base on a hit that some people feel that was an error. But it was a hit at first base as Diaz made a play with the backhand ranging over, showing her capability as a shortstop, just to get a glove on the ball that was sharply hit in the hole.
You know, the greats make that extra range and make it, and they will live with those errors that are thrown at them, because they will range further than anybody else in the game. So Villanueva, Samantha Villanueva comes up. Fouls it away. And see, that's the one thing that, you know, it's as silly as it sounds when you call it. Is it a hit or is it an error? I mean, many of the greats would rather range that 2 feet, try and make it, and if they get the error, people will look at them and go, oh, they had 5 errors on the season. But everybody knows they go and get the ball that nobody else tries for. Hit to the gap, knocked down, play it first, not in time. Nice little base hit over there, but a beautiful play by Alyssa Sotelo at second base.
But Mark would call that an error because that play wasn't made at first.
No, she made the play. She couldn't get up to throw the ball for the runner. That would have been a solid. That is that range play. That's that range play that I talk about. And you can't call an error if somebody doesn't attempt to make an out.
So if it had popped out of her glove on that play and they reached first base, that's an error for you?
There's a drive to deep center field. Caught right there. Turn. Throw to third base. We'll see if a play is made. There's not.
Outstanding play by Alyssa Capps. Not only with ranging and making the play on the dead run, going away from third base, spinning, and making a great throw to second base to hold the runner at first.
See, and here's where I'm going to bring up why I say what I say. Because she makes that play out there and then fires to try and get the runner. And in doing a blind turn and throw, if that ball gets away from an infielder because it's not close, you're going to call an advancement on the runner by a poor throw. But yet it's the same motion that you go to backhand a ball at shortstop and you range far enough, can't control it. If you're going to call control plays, or control plays for all players, not just an individual player because of where they play at.
Base hit. And it would have been a base hit. They didn't make the play. It got out of her glove. So anything that goes, if there's a diving deep in the hole, knocks it down, that's going to be an error for you. So you're saying everything and bat it down, you're not able to make the play.
Well, here's my judgment call. Here's my judgment call. And this is where official scorekeepers disagree. I didn't find that play that you talk about that deep in the hole. Off the chest, throw to first, and the runner's out.
Now that would have been an error.
That would have been an error. No runs, no hits, no errors, one left on base. As we head to the bottom of the 7th, Corey Neyland being wrong the last 2 innings, Mark Pavlovich being right. Santiago 11, Cerritos 4, here on SportsNet, USA.net. You know what? And this is where I wish I had headsets on Albert too, because Albert's a baseball fanatic. Well, I don't know. You sort of shake your hands at me. Albert just shook his hands like, well, not really. But I see enough about you as a Dodger fan on there to put you in that category. And, this is always that judgment thing amongst people that watch the game, scoring games. And, I mean, we'll go back to the play. I know Corey's calling it a hit. I don't. I think you have to look at how far somebody ranges. I don't find that a deep ranging play she made. I find that a very good defensive play, but for me, she needs to take at least 2 more steps to call it a deep ranging play into the hole. And, so that's why I call it an error. You look at it differently and say she took 2 steps to her left, tried to backhand it, but you interpret that as her going deep into the hole to try and make the play. And that's why it's hard to call what's a hit and what's an error.
Oh, it's easy. That was a hit because because I. Okay, so he should have had it or he should have gotten there. Okay.
There's Albert's interpretation of it. So as we head to the bottom of the 7th, Cerritos needs 7 to tie this game up and send it to extra innings. Brooklyn Bedoya comes up. Very, very strong third base person for the Cerritos team. Excellent with the glove. Plays solid defense for Cerritos.
Mayfair High School product.
I like Cerritos' defense. I think they've got a solid defensive team out here.
And they really do.
Deep drive, deep center field off the wall. Brooklyn turns, she heads to second, head first dive, she's in there.
And in hip-hop vernacular, Brooklyn represent on that double right there. No, that was just a good play. I mean, a solid hit, and she went with the pitch. It wasn't completely outside, but it was up in the strike zone, outside corner, and she went with the pitch to get to right center field.
That's the 10th hit today. Strap back up the middle. Get the runner at first. Bedoya advances to third. Corey, Cerritos has 10 hits in this game. And when you look at it, Santiago's only got 14 hits in this game. Again, I'm going to go back to what you said. They've hit the ball well for Cerritos. It's just been at somebody. Albert just shook his head too, like, yeah, you're absolutely right.
And as a first game for both teams, you really don't mind all the hits because that's just a rhythm and laying a foundation of what you can be throughout the season. So,
runner score. Oh, they're going to home for the play there. The runner's safe. So a great break from third base by Bedoya. She slides a little to the outside, and then the tag is made. You brought this up last night. I want to go back to what you said last night about being a catcher now in softball.
Yeah, because you can't block the play because, let's say, as old as we are, in our day, that would have been an out because a player would have never reached home plate. But now you have to be off of the plate a little bit, and that gives the runner a little bit more time to reach around and reach second base safely. But what you were about to talk about the play with the 1 out, this is the bottom of the 7th inning.
Should have gone to first.
Yeah, you go to first base to get the sure out. You let the run score, but now you're 1 out away.
Yeah, a little surprised that she did that when I saw it.
And it was a nice slide by Brooklyn to get around the catcher.
And I'm sure Riley Piatoni will talk with Lisa about that and say, I should have just taken the out. Shot over to third. See if we can turn the double play, and we do. Nice little 5-4 to 3 around the corner, and that's going to give Santiago Canyon the victory here over Cerritos College. And you like that. That was a sweet play when you look at what goes on there. As Islas, like I said, Corey, again, soft hands at third base and then a perfect throw to the bag at second to look at that person at second base and to say to Riley Piattoni, here it is, you catch it, you throw it, we should be able to turn it.
Yeah, and that's why they went home on that last play, because we see what they wanted to do. We hadn't turned a double play all game. Let's go ahead and get that right now.
Well, I tell you what, Santiago Canyon, 11 runs, 14 hits, no errors for today's game. And for Cerritos, 5 runs, 10 hits. For one person, no errors. For another person, 1 error in today's game. But the way you look at it, both these teams, I think both these teams had a great softball game down there and played really, really well. So we'll be back for the second game today here on SportsNetUSA.net as the first game comes to an 11-5 victory for Santiago Canyon over Cerritos here on SportsNetUSA.net.